We're rolling. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ebb and Flow podcast in collaboration with Reality Now.
That's how you're throwing that up?
Here we are, brother. What's going on?
That's how you're throwing Reality Now up?
That's how we're throwing it in.
It's good. I thought we should do a 2025 recap.
Yeah, where do we start?
What we learned. I don't know. It's been a long year, huh?
Yeah, been a good year, interesting year. A lot of people say it's been like a fucked up year, or I don't know.
They all say that.
I don't think that at all. This has been a great year for me.
They say that every year.
A year of clarity.
Yeah.
A year of fucking deepening my connection with myself. Feeling more grounded, more at peace, more at ease, more comfortable in my own skin than ever before. So I don't know what to say. I mean, if you look at the news ever, it looks like the world is in total chaos and is about to come to an end. So I don't think we can really look at that as the barometer. I mean, there's always going to be insane things going on.
I actually don't feel like people have been saying it's been bad. I feel like
I've seen multiple memes.
Really?
Like that.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't know. Social media it's just become a cesspool of
Yeah, it's really problematic. I think it's going to be really interesting to see. Is it? I don't know if problematic is the word, but I think it's going to be.
No, problematic's a good word to describe social media.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes. And, 5 years, it's going to be really interesting. I'm continuously fascinated by people on social media and the things that they're posting and the things that they're sharing their lives. And, I think it's one thing to do it if you're sort of using it as like the way you do it, where it's like you've sort of an official kind of commentator, so you've like it's set up a certain way. But then I see people that post their day. I mean, that's becoming, I don't know if it's the algorithm I'm in, but it's becoming more and more and more, what are you doing it for? What is it? What's the meaning of all this? I think it's really people just want connection. They want connection. And it's become a kind of, the problem is, I think it's a pseudo connection. It's not really, you're not really connecting. We've been tricked into thinking it's connection. And I just, at the end of the day, it's really not, it's a form of it.
Well, what do you think the most beneficial use, or what's the most impactful way to use social media?
Well, I think what's happened is we've sort of become entrapped by it, because now it's become this thing where everybody, not everybody, that's not true, but a majority of people are using it now as if their job depends on it, or their life depends on it. So it's become this thing where like you think you need to go, or maybe you do need to go. It's not even you think, but you're going now for money. So it's this thing it's this machine that we've now become entangled with, that, it's like you do fitness, you're a writer, you're a painter, you're a football, like every occupation now has a place on Instagram where you're selling yourself. So it's almost like you can't not do it. So that's a benefit, but it's also the irony is that, using it is then disconnecting us in a way. So I think it's double-edged. It's a double-edged sword.
Well, why don't we bring this
It's a
back to
double-edged
your?
sword.
Why don't we bring it back to your initial call to do this, rather than talking
You
about
talk
social
about the
media?
social. You brought it up.
Well,
2025, baby.
yeah. What'd you learn? What'd you learn in 2025, dude?
I learned. I learned a lot about. I think taking my time, continuing to realize what I want to do. I'm speaking in I as opposed to you. You know, it's like you can do that where you say taking your time, thinking about what you want to do. Like saying I, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
Um,
Personalize it.
you know, I was thinking about this. Uh, I got 4 years of sobriety in November. And
Congrats.
yeah, I want to preface by saying, like, that's not what everybody needs to do by any means. And it's not like any, you know, it's cool to do that. But why I say that is because it's just made, I think the sobriety just really makes you look at yourself on this, like, really interesting level. It's like really focused and clarified of like what's going on with you and what needs to change, you know. You're all greased up, dude. You got grease in your beard or what? You got grease on
Coconut
you.
oil,
You're all
brother.
greased up right now.
Coconut oil.
So just, you know, more clarity about myself and just
Uh-huh.
keep that going. Maybe that's just getting older where you just start to care less, you know? What do you think? Care less about
Um,
what the outside is thinking about you, and, you know.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's getting older, but I mean, whatever is going on, this is the first time where this year has been the first time where reading people's comments on Instagram, I just totally laugh
Look,
and
you
think,
brought it back to social media again.
well, that's a good example of, well, you're asking me about caring about the outside world. I mean, I certainly don't. And that's a great example. That's a great place where you
Yeah,
get to really see, do you care what other people think
yeah,
when some fucking degenerate's saying, making some comment about
right.
your character, who you are based on a 30-second clip. I mean,
Yeah,
there's been time people say insanely hurtful, psychotic things on Instagram.
yeah, yeah.
And there was a time when I was really hurt by it.
Mm,
Now I don't. I fucking laugh. I think it's hilarious. I troll the trolls. I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, you're right, bro.
yeah.
All I give a fuck about is me. I'm an egomaniac. You know, I totally laugh.
That's
I think it's
hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if getting older is really the thing for me. I mean, maybe. Who
Wiser.
knows? You're always getting older.
Right. I guess wisdom and age don't have to do with each other. There's just a lot of old people that maybe don't have a ton of wisdom, probably. Right.
I mean, I just it's letting go of all the preconceived notions, all the beliefs, all the attachments to what life has to be, or what it means when
Yeah.
things go a certain way, or thinking that they have to go a certain way, getting out of the if then paradigm and just living in the infinite ocean of possibility that is life, you know. And I think that's probably what sobriety has brought to you.
Yeah.
um
Well, one thing I wanted to ask you about was regret. I wanted to ask you about this idea of regret. I didn't look it up. I was going to look it up, the origin of the word regret. Maybe it doesn't matter, but this, and that I think that's reasonable. I mean, to bring up at the end of the year, because at the end of the year you start thinking about what you've done or maybe what you haven't done. And I think if you live in a paradigm of the universe is in control, then
Is it?
then regret doesn't exist. But if you live, it's like fate. I think there's different like avenues of like the regret conversation, because it's like, do you believe in fate? Do you not? What's the opposite of fate? What is that again? It's like there's fate or there's like
Free will.
right. It's an interesting, because I don't think that regret can really be real if you're living with the belief that your awareness is only where it is sort of at this time, so it's like you can only do what you're doing right now. Like hindsight is always 2020, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting thing that's come up.
Well, I think you
For
can't
me.
really live in. You have no free will until you become conscious
Right.
and wake up and
Right.
come into yourself as a sovereign being, which takes a lot of work to get there. Because up
Right.
until that point, you're just functioning on
Right.
behavioral patterns and habits, and it's all just programming that you're functioning in. So you really don't have any free will until you elevate yourself to a certain place where you're conscious and awake and aware of who you are, and you have the capacity to respond to things rather than just react. And even then, I think like true free will is probably
No, I think what you're saying is really poignant, though.
but then I think
But
regret, I've heard a few things. I mean, Ravi Shankar said this thing that, I think it was Ravi Shankar. He said, so many of us live in this world of looking at the past. We have regret because we think we have free will and we believe we just made mistakes. And then looking into the future, it's all, we've got this destiny ahead of us.
mm-hmm.
But he said, what if everything's predestined in the future, but in the past we had free will and we fucked everything up?
Uh-huh.
But he's like, what if you flip that idea and you look at the past and you go, that was predestined.
Right.
That was how it had to be for
Right.
me to get here. The future, I have free will.
Right.
Now, that's one way to look at it. The other thing that I've been working on, man, practicing hard in my own life, is thinking a whole lot less. I think the most important thing any of us can do right now is learn how to think a whole lot fucking less.
Yeah.
Because thinking runs us into the ground of constantly searching for solutions, which are not really, they only appear as solutions. The answers are all illusions. They're just create more questions. And reading this book, this incredible book, have you read this book
The Osho
by
one?
Osho? Come Follow Me.
I
It's his
think I've skimmed
teachings
it.
on Jesus.
Yeah. I haven't read all of it.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
He says this thing, can we learn to live in the question?
Right.
Life is a mystery. One of my favorite quotes of all time. Frank Herbert in Dune says, the mystery of life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. We're constantly trying to find the answer to the question.
Yeah.
I've got this hunger inside. How do I feed it? It's all this addiction. Everything is a fucking conundrum of trying to answer a question, trying to solve a problem.
Right.
But if you can live in the pregnancy of the question, it's living in this space that's right here, right before you fall over the edge into acting into the question or acting, trying to find the solution. You say the thing, you do the thing, you take the thing, whatever it is that's trying to feed this desperate thirst, hunger for answers. If you can stay in the mystery of the question, man, this fucking miracle appears before you.
Right.
And I've been working on that in conjunction with thinking less. The most important book you can read, anybody can read, in my opinion. Throw out all the other personal development books because they're just fucking nonsense. Letting Go by David Hawkins. Read it again, read it 1,000 times. Because it gets to the fucking nuts and bolts of what our problem is, which is none of us have the discipline, the capacity, the desire to be with our feelings. Every single one of our thoughts, we have a million thoughts that are rooted in a feeling that we have suppressed, repressed, or tried to escape for our entire lives. If you can feel the feeling, learn how to feel it, be with that feeling for as long as it takes to dissolve that feeling, an entire array of thoughts just vanish. A whole set of problems you thought you had fucking vanish because you get to the fucking bottom of it, which is a feeling you've never allowed yourself to feel. My life has changed literally in the last few months. I mean, it's been changing, but this like last few months, dude, I felt this fucking like shift that's been totally felt in my body. Not just this imagined thing. It's been a literal change of character of who I am because of this practice. Learning to think less, feel more. Feel the feelings as they come up. Oh, shit, money? Feel that fucking feeling, dude. Feel the money. Feel the desperation with money. Feel the burden of you don't have enough money or what are you going to do with your money? Feel it. Feel it. Stop trying to fix it. Stop trying to do anything with it. Just fucking feel it and be with it and see what happens. Something changes. Whatever it might be. Those feelings that they've got a lot of charge. There's a lot of charge. What am I going to do? I need an answer. Fuck the answer. But everybody out there, we all want answers. That's why you got a million fucking influencers on social media giving you the, all the things that are going to kill you or how to optimize yourself or the best fucking morning routine that everybody needs. Do this, do these 7 exercises and your life will change. Yeah, it'll change for 5 minutes. But you're not getting to the root of the problem, which is you. You, not you and your incapacity to be with yourself.
Right.
So 2026, my challenge to anybody listening is learn how to think less. Feel more. And you go, well, Ev, how am I going to get anything done if I don't think? Well, you start doing the shit that actually matters. You stop wasting your fucking time on all the bullshit that means nothing. All the superfluous acts that get you nowhere. It's you. You're on the hamster wheel, man. You're doing it. You're really doing it, Johnny. Get out of here, man.
So maybe on the to that point, are you done?
I mean, I think, but we've scratched. We haven't even scratched the surface of what we're capable of. in the modern age, because we're so fucking stuck on trying to answer all these questions that are never ending.
Well, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to be done. I mean,
I'm done for
it's
now.
a fluid conversation. But what I was going to say, what you just said in terms of the regret thing, to me, it's almost like how I would respond to what you're saying on the regret point. It's almost like, which is what you said in the beginning. It's like you're not even aware enough for regret to even be part of the equation. You know what I mean? You're not even available enough for regret to even be a possibility, because you don't even know what you're doing anyway.
Or you're
Most
living
people.
in a perpetual state of regret. I think you could be in either sides of those. I mean, look, I was thinking about this today. I have regrets, little regrets that are almost silly little things, but just like I'll never be able to rectify that, you know?
Yeah.
Like one of them, I'll share it with you here that I don't think you'll ever listen to the pod, but with Kev, like I regret that. How did I never get him to a Bears game?
Mm.
That's like a silly little regret. I feel like, God damn, how did I do that? How did I not get Kev, our stepdad, who we love?
God,
I love Kev to death.
I thought he went to a game.
Like, maybe he did, and I just don't remember, but I'm like, how did I not get him to a Bears game? He's a diehard Bears fan, And it's silly, but it's like I'll never be able to fix that.
Yeah, but my easy response to that would be, dude, we were all so fucked up.
I know.
We were all
and
so fucked up.
that's kind of what.
I don't even know if I went to a Bears game.
You never went to one either?
No,
I don't think Dad went to one.
Well, no, because I came and stayed with you, so I must have gone to a game. I went to a game because I remember walking to Soldier Field, but see, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Like that shit where your consciousness level is so low and so scrambled.
Well, that's kind of where
are those sort of fundamental early steps in your life.
That's kind of where I get to,
where you didn't have another choice. There was no other choice on the table because it wasn't even part of your consciousness. I probably should have just played quarterback. I might have gone to the NFL. I don't know. I could look at that as a regret, but I could also, like, if I really disentangle it, I could go, I was way too sensitive. I was way too kind of damaged at home. I loved football, but couldn't handle the confrontation with the coaches. I don't know. That was where I was at. That was like the best I could do. So it's an interesting conversation where.
Well, that examination.
I could look back now and go, I wish I had the consciousness I had now 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I mean, the things I would do differently. But where does that end? That conversation never, that flagellation, that self-flagellation never ends.
You take the self-flagellation out of it and you let the stark reality of that moment penetrate you so that you can see the truth of who you were in that moment.
Yeah.
And it gives you a really deep perspective and a lot of compassion for the road you've been on,
Right.
Because you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's what the investigation of that reveals is, whoa, actually, look at where I was then.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think God is involved in that equation, in the sense of, you say, that's why I brought up the word the universe or the cosmos or God, whatever. To me, they're all synonymous, but, you say, something like, people will say God's plan, like, but then you could say you're God, in the non-dual perspective, where you're God, I'm God, everybody's God, everybody has God working within them. So,
I don't think God sets the stage and is the stage and is the players, is us.
so then it's all
It's
God.
not God going like, let's put him through this fire. Let's do that. Let's make that happen. That's not what's going on. It's God having an experience of itself as this being, as these many beings, in relationship to itself. And you, as the particle of God, is on an evolutionary track of realization, realizing yourself as God, which entails a whole lot of stumbling blocks along the way based on your starting point.
Yeah.
And, so to me, that idea, I like this better in this book, Osho, Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, which I guess a lot of people don't like the name Osho. They think it's like a joke, which
I like.
I think
Osho.
it kind of came, I don't know, like Osho. We don't really know. Did he give himself that name?
Yeah, I think he did. I've read about it before. I've lost it.
But anyway,
Since I read it.
he says this thing that, dude, you're a fruit ripening on a tree. It's your nature to evolve and ripen and grow and change. Like, you don't really have to do anything, and all of it is a part of the emergence of the ripening.
So then it's part of the plan.
Yeah,
So then
but
it's part of the.
but there's not like an orchestration. It's nature. It's evolution. It's the path of life. It is the path of God. Because that's what God is. God is an ever unfolding energy that's constantly moving, expanding towards something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, honey.
Hey.
Sandy, everybody.
Hey, Sandy.
How you doing? What do you need?
I just wanted to show you this.
Oh, look at this. Amazing watercolor, kid. I love that.
Sweet. I love
It's
it.
incredible.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Thank you.
That's so good. I want to see more. I'll be in a sec.
We got to frame that.
Yeah, we do.
So it is God. It's God-like. It's
Well,
God. It's God essence, and to me, nature is God. And
I just think that the old idea or the old definition of God's plan, it doesn't compute anymore, because it's not. God doesn't give a fuck. God is not some separate being. I know you're not. I'm saying for this conversation, as a living piece of art conversation that's going to live on the internet,
right,
in the context of
that's good.
What our audience is hearing and tapping into.
Yeah.
God is not a separate being that's made a plan for all of us that entails X, Y, and Z.
Well, it makes me think of when Ram Dass would ask, what was his guru's name? Ram
Maharaji.
Yeah, when Ram Dass would ask his guru and say, how do you rectify, the people up the street that have, XYZ disease and they're starving, and Maharaji would chuckle and say, "Don't you see it's all perfect?" Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't
Where then
know.
it just becomes this mystery of, which may go back to your
Well, it is
thing
a
about the
mystery.
question. It
It
just
is a
becomes this
mystery.
mystery where, okay, how many times do you want to talk about why this or that happened or didn't happen? Who cares? We're here now, right?
Yeah.
We're in this question
Yeah.
now.
Be in the mystery, dude. It's way more interesting than trying to find an answer. The answers all fall short. It's like all these people trying to say you got to eat this way and you got to do this and you got to fucking sun your asshole and inject whatever into your bloodstream. And then there's the 100-year-old lady in Mississippi drinking Coke and smoking packs of cigarettes all day. You know? That's mysterious. You can't we can't quantify how that makes sense with data points, you know?
Yeah.
It's mysterious.
Yeah.
Which means there's something else that's even more important,
Right.
you know? It's like people talking about, every time on Instagram, like, everything's going to kill you. Everything's filled with toxins. How does that help us, dude? You're creating more stress and tension in the world
Right.
because you're not giving any useful information. You're just saying if you're drinking out of plastic bottles, you're going to die because you're filling yourself with a credit card size amount of plastic material every week.
Right.
Okay. But you know what's more powerful than that is my relationship to it. My mental, emotional relationship to everything in my life. That is more powerful than any toxic substance on the planet.
Yeah.
You can literally walk over hot coals and not be burned by them.
Yeah.
If your mental and emotional bodies are aligned a certain way.
Right.
Our relationship to it is more deadly than the things that are actually here. Literally. It's the truth. So why aren't we talking about that? You know, I don't give a fuck how much data, studies you show me about anything. Sure, that happened in a vacuum. That happened in a case study where they took 25 people and gave some a placebo and gave others this thing, and this outcome happened. Sure, great, okay. But that doesn't mean the totally opposite situation, the other end of the spectrum, isn't also true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One group of people are saying nicotine is just going to kill you because it fucking spikes your blood pressure and your heart rate. There's another group of people saying it's a fucking crucial nutrient for well-being that protects you from viruses, spike proteins, et cetera, et cetera. If you're the layman, you're like, where do I go? You know, give me something real, dude. Give me something honest. Stop with this. And that's to me where it's like, get into the mystery of it all. Because if you get into the mystery of it all and you release, you start to live in an epicenter of ease and peace. All of the tension falls away. All of the resistance you're living in, it falls away. And you become at ease. Everything starts to work properly. Inflammation goes down. Heart rate settles into a super healthy rhythm. Blood pressure gets healthy. Your mind, everything, anxiety goes away. Hormones function properly. Digestion functions properly. Everything starts to function properly. But we're living it like even the wellness community. They're just spewing fucking nonsense that's creating a deeper sense of chaos
Yeah.
and separation.
Yeah.
Where do I begin, buddy? Okay, the sponge I'm using is filled with 52 toxic chemicals, materials. Dude, give me a break, man. Why don't we go back? Okay, sure, the sponge is toxic, but then you're also telling me the clothes I'm wearing are toxic, the food I'm eating is toxic, the air I'm breathing is toxic. Stop. Give me a super simple, step by step, phase by phase manual for how to detoxify my life. If that feels really important to you, give me that. Give me some tangible, actionable items to make my life better. Let's do that rather than just send me into a fucking fury of despair and anxiety that's perpetuating the chemical problem that is actually the root of all of my ails. What are we talking about? This is what 2025 has brought me.
Right.
This clarity. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'm really adjusting myself to use social media in this manner.
Oh God.
You know, if I'm gonna use it at all.
Yeah. I think 2026 is going to be a very particular reckoning with how people um, participate in social media.
I think so too. I think you're right. I think you're right on the money. I think that is happening.
I think I think what you're saying is true. Dude, I was on Instagram the other day. What's troubling about what you're saying is, you know, if you spend enough and you're getting all of this information off of Instagram or TikTok, if you're on it enough, it creeps into your subconscious. So before you know it, I'm saying this just thinking about what all the things you just said. Before you know it, you're concerned about, is my blanket okay?
Yes,
Sitting in my car that has a battery, is that okay? Like, before you know it, there's so many layers keeping you from just living and enjoying your existence.
1000%.
And you know, I'm really aware, so I'm like very, like, if I turn on Instagram, I'll, like, if I see something, I'll like turn it off. I mean, I was on the other day. I literally opened this video. It was for like 10. I couldn't watch the whole video because I immediately had a reaction to it. It was one doctor saying don't eat apples, the other doctor saying apples are great.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I thought about that the other day when I was eating an apple.
And I went to, because you saw that video?
Because I've seen both those videos.
So I went, well, no, they were in the same video having a conversation together.
Yeah.
So it was one video.
Yeah. So I mean, like, before that video came out, I've seen the person saying, don't eat apples.
But like, yeah, sure. Okay. Like, don't go to the shit grocery store where you can see the wax on the apple, you know, which is like, you do want to know that. Like, some of this information you do want to know, but I think it's like weaponizing. You start weaponizing health and wellness. So, you know, I think you said the word layman. I think it is, you know, we grew up in a very conscious environment, I would say, with our bodies and our minds, and maybe most people don't grow up in that environment. So I could see how it would be way too much information that's scattered. And how do you go about, because I think everybody ultimately wants a better quality of life. I mean, it's sort of parallel with this. Something I've noticed is just like this massive uptick in pharmaceutical ads. Like when I watch like there's a new drug with it used to be when I watched stuff, there was like 2 drugs. It was like, get Cialis, and it would be a guy running like stoked because his cock got hard. You know what I mean? But then it would, and then like one other one.
Yeah.
Now it's like a new, dude, there's one now for schizophrenia. And it's like it's like a teenage kid being like, I have schizophrenia and I take this and I feel good now. I'm like, schizophrenia?
It's nuts.
That's like a really extreme. Now we have a drug? Like, are you sure you have schizophrenia?
Yeah.
So I think what I'm saying is, I want to, what you're saying about simplifying and
Well, everything you're saying is exactly my point.
and trimming things away, and the real essence of enlightenment, which is to get rid of stuff, right? So you can be in the moment and enjoy yourself.
What's more important than that, dude?
I think so much of it is about your quality of life.
We're all gonna die, bro.
Yeah. What is your quality of life? What do you like doing? What do you really love doing? And it probably doesn't have to do with being on Instagram very much. That's for sure.
Well, be on it if you want, but you've gotta.
I'm not saying don't be on it. I'm very careful
because
of
I
not
think
being
if you're
cynical
totally free inside, if you're totally free inside, that's free of tension, free of this energy of this mental, emotional, energetic attachment to everything. You can do whatever you want, dude. Doesn't matter. Beat off. Fucking go on social media. Eat the food. Like, it doesn't matter, actually.
I think getting free inside is a very
Well, all of this stuff is an outside-in approach.
particular journey. Yeah. Well, that's true.
Going to the healthy grocery store, getting the apples, but again, apparently to some people, no apples are good because it's a hybridized, non-organic, man-made creation now. It's all an outside-in approach. And the only sustainable thing that's actually going to make a fucking difference is an inside-out approach. And the inside-out approach starts at being able to be with yourself, feeling feelings. Then you can start to get to everything else.
Well, maybe that's what the sobriety, we always
100%.
We always have these conversations, and then there's like tethers that we come back to. The sobriety has really taught me that, which I think a lot of people, that would be my sort of recommendation about what sobriety can teach you. I'm not saying you need to be sober, but what the sobriety does is you become keenly aware of what's going on inside. Your mind, your body, your muscles, your joints,
your heart,
your thoughts, your heart,
spirit,
your breathing. So, and most people, when you're jumping from the next thing, the next outside in thing to make you feel good, you're never giving yourself the time to feel what's really going on.
Yeah. Well, that was like that question I asked you when we were on a walk like a little while ago. I said, is anybody not an addict?
Yeah, I don't think so.
And you said no. And I think you're right. I think that everyone on the planet, like
well, first of all, the phones, everybody's addicted
well,
to the
that's
phones.
what I'm saying. I mean, the percentage of people who are actually not living through an addictive psychology,
yeah,
or a psychology that's infected with addiction on some level, I think is so slight.
Yeah.
A percentage of a percent,
right,
on the planet,
And I say I'm sober. That's sober off of drugs. I'm still drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm still addicted. You could argue I'm addicted to the phone, 100%.
Oh, totally.
But I'm much more aware of that now. And I like what you're saying about less thinking, more feeling. And I think that feeling will compel you to just do the next indicated action that you're supposed to be doing.
Well,
right?
that's it. That's it. That's why, that's the answer when somebody goes, well, Ed, but what am I, if I don't think, I won't be able to do anything, or how will I make decisions? It's like, no. When the thinking that we're all cultured into is a totally distorted process. We're all addicted to worry. We're addicted to anxiety. We're addicted to trying to have the answer. When you cleanse yourself, when you retrain yourself out of thinking less, you're available to the next indicated action, which we could call the next God's action. It's the next divine move in your life that actually moves you forward, that fills you with purpose. This other thing that's come up this year is this whole idea of find your purpose. It's the ultimate cliche of every motivational guru on the planet in the history of the world. Find your purpose, solve all your problems. Well, as my buddy Tim said, what does that mean? Do I need to be Luke Skywalker and fucking destroy the Death Star? Do I need to start the rebellion? Like, find my purpose? The fuck does that mean? And I've spent way too much time in my life trying to find my purpose. And over the last year or so, I've totally let go of that. But what I've done is I've focused myself on doing things that feel really purposeful. Yeah. And in doing that, I've never felt more full of purpose. So it's not about finding your purpose. Where the fuck are you going to find your purpose anyway? You're just going to do stuff until something feels right? It makes no sense. Like, where does your purpose go? Your purpose emerges every day, moment by moment. It changes, it evolves, it's something new all the time. Sometimes it's a big purpose, sometimes it's a small purpose. Your purpose reveals itself to you over and over again, all the time. And it takes many forms. So focus on doing purposeful work. When you think less, you're more available to doing really purposeful things. That's the things that are meaningful to you. Like something that really means something to you. You're not just doing all this superfluous bullshit, which we've all been coaxed into through the rat race, this grind mentality, which is fucking nonsense. You're just doing stuff to do stuff, to say I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
And you're not available to that if you're constantly you're just like in your head all the time.
Yeah.
I think eating good food is great. I eat super healthy. Like, I eat only real food. I don't really eat any junk food. I don't. Fuck. I mean, I'll have In-N-Out here and there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the fast food I'll have, which it's not often. I eat really good food. I believe in eating really good food, and I don't think it's the end of the world if you don't.
Yeah.
I think it's been an important thing for me, because I know when I eat certain foods, namely processed sugar, processed foods in particular. I mean, I have an autoimmune disease that I keep at bay through my eating. Food is my medicine.
What's the autoimmune disease?
Well, I mean, it's never been
allergies
formally diagnosed by a doctor, but when I had this reading done, which anybody who listens to the pod, you can go back and listen to this podcast I did with this guy, Dr. Harhari Khalsa. And he did this cyber scan, which is a German medical device. In Germany, if you go into any doctor's office, the first thing they do is they do this cyber scan. And it's literally a metal plate. You place your hand on it, and it gives you the most detailed, accurate readout of your entire medical profile.
Interesting.
Physical, mental, emotional, psychological issues. Like it gives you the fuck. Dude, this thing was to a T.
Interesting.
It's as if you did blood work, MRIs, CAT scan. Like it's a psychiatry evaluation. Like this thing blew my fucking mind.
Wow.
It's illegal here in the
it
US.
is?
Yeah.
God.
But in Germany, like you go into any doctor's office.
Wow.
This is what they do.
It's a trip.
So he did this thing, and one of the things that came up was I have lupus, which is a thyroid issue. It's an autoimmune disease.
Right.
And that's why I have this hypersensitivity to I can eat really good bread, like really good homemade sourdough that's like 3 ingredients. If I eat store-bought bread, but even the really good bread, if I have it multiple days in a row, I'll start to feel aching joints, depression. I'll have all sorts of things. That's this autoimmune disease.
Interesting.
But he was like, on this readout, it was like, you keep it at bay because of how healthy you eat.
Right.
And how healthy you are and how much I move and all that. So, it's you have a very unique, like all of us have a very unique makeup, that we need to learn how to listen to. And going back to your point earlier, we had a very interesting upbringing because both of our parents were very conscious of our bodies, physical, mental, emotional well-being.
Yeah.
And how to naturally modulate those factors in our life. And so we were really blessed with that. And so, I grew up with the idea that food is medicine.
Yeah.
Maybe our parents wouldn't even say that's necessarily true. I know dad certainly does. Mom certainly does.
Yeah.
I don't know if they look at it that way or looked at it that way back then, but that's what came across to me.
Yeah.
And it's worked. So I believe in all that stuff. And I think there's something that umbrellas over all of it, which is your relationship to it on a mental and emotional level.
Right.
That's more powerful than any of the external things.
Right.
And I think that's where we're going into. That's the evolution humanity is moving into. Which, might I add, from a spiritual perspective, when you get into that, you're only going to start choosing the high vibration foods.
Right.
And drink and activities and all of it.
Yeah.
Everything else just falls away.
Yeah, you just naturally can't
you just gravitate towards it. The other stuff feels too dense or distorting.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So anyway,
I think naturally, for somebody that's asking, when you start taking care of yourself and you start looking at yourself and meditating on it, I think meditation is a really key aspect here, because when you sit down and stop, don't ever say, if I can recommend one thing, which I've heard many times from people, don't ever say, I can't meditate, or I don't know how to meditate, or my mind is too all over the place to meditate. First of all, that's more of a reason to meditate. But when you meditate, you get to slow your system down and see what's going on. And meditating can mean 5 minutes sitting down in an upright position, closing your eyes, and just watching your thoughts. Or if you want to use a mantra, if you can't get a mantra from a shaman or a guru or somebody that anoints mantras, say the word love over and over again. It's a perfectly good mantra. Just say that and let that be your tether. But I think as you take care of yourself, you naturally don't want to do, you naturally don't go toward things that aren't good for you. Like there's something that happens. There's something about it.
Well, for me, that thing is that you start to tune yourself towards balance.
Yeah, and you become more sensitive. Like
And so anything that's like that heightens your nervous system up or makes your heart rate race
yeah,
or makes you feel uncomfortable physically, you start
Yes.
to go, "Oh, I don't really like that anymore."
yeah, yeah.
It's like every time you're driving down the street or you're walking down the street and that insanely loud car drives by,
Uh-huh.
like the car that the engine's just like blasting and
Yeah.
crackling and shit.
Here?
Anywhere.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, it's happened here.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, dude, your nervous system must be totally fucking shot.
Oh yeah. Unless you like those kinds of cars, I guess.
But why do you like it? Because your nervous system's a fucking wreck.
That's partially why I can't listen to rap music. I mean, not to for anybody that likes rap music, that's cool. I don't dislike rap music. My vibration just literally like won't let me go toward it. I can't listen to that language. I like techno though, because I love beats. I love sounds. I love sounds that make me feel good. But once you get into the language stuff, my body and my soul doesn't want to participate.
It's just about pussy, money, and weed.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So that naturally happens over time.
Yeah, I think 100%.
And you'll want to work out, you know?
Yeah, you want to feel good. You want to keep riding the wave of goodness.
Yeah, your relationships will change. Watch, you'll go on dates and you'll immediately be like, "Oh, I can't. You might be a great person, but this isn't for me."
Even aside from going on the dates, just people you've been in relationships with, friends, family, you start to be like, dude, I can't spend time around this person.
Yeah. It'll naturally happen to you. So,
and I think, and you know, I meditate every day because it just feels really important to give myself at least 20 minutes of quiet, stillness, eyes closed, looking at the back of my eyelids.
Are you
no
doing
stimulation.
20 minutes straight through or twice a day, or what are you doing?
Lately I've been doing 20 to 25 minutes just straight through before bed.
Okay.
At night, it's part of my process. I'll meditate and then I'll read until I fall asleep. But then again, I think everyone is gravitating in the idea of the ripening fruit, man. We're all emerging closer and closer to balance, God, peace, nature, all of these things, you know.
Well, look, if social media is doing anything, it's making us more and more and more and more aware of ourselves.
100%. No doubt.
It's almost like God, if you will, has created this thing to make us get more aware. I mean, I don't know if there are any accidents necessarily.
No doubt. I feel that. I feel that way. Because every time social media for me is a mirror of bringing me greater and greater clarity of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Which I'm pleasantly surprised with, you know?
And I think social media is a reasonable topic because it's so prevalent. It's become so much part of how we function. So, you know.
No, I totally think so, and I think it's a great mirror.
Yeah,
it's a real, to the point of what you're just saying now. It's an incredible mirror, and it shows us it's a litmus test for where we're at.
Yeah,
like reading the comments.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time when I'd read the comments and I'd have to emotionally untangle myself from the comments at one
Yeah.
point. Now I literally laugh and troll people, troll the trolls. You
That's
know,
funny.
I'm like, man, I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like that's how far I've come.
Yeah.
And it's real. It's not like, I can't fake that.
Yeah.
It's an emotion. There's no emotional charge. It's like, wow, look at where that person is. That's totally insane.
Right.
Let me join in on this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, that to me is sort of the going back to the regret thing. Your consciousness, it's just an example of how to speak about the regret thing. Your consciousness, when you were getting riled up and you said F you to somebody who commented negatively, your consciousness was functioning from a place where it couldn't do otherwise.
Yeah.
So now your consciousness has grown. So you can't really reasonably say, I regret saying F you to the person who spoke negatively.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you didn't have another operating system to function out of.
Yeah. I don't really have regrets like that though.
I'm just saying regret.
Yeah.
I said that's an example of how
I'm saying for me, yeah. No, you're right.
regret.
I don't have regrets like that.
But I don't think any regret is reasonable at the end of the day.
I love that. I think you're right. I think from a big picture standpoint, I think you're totally right. Regret is an illusion. It's like somebody made this idea to give us another problem to think about, to fixate on.
Yeah.
Let me live my life in regret.
Yeah.
Martha, who invented that idea?
Yeah. Our Aunt Martha says, she says to me a lot, what if is the booby prize? The booby prize,
like
meaning
a booby
it's like
trap.
the bullshit prize.
Yeah.
Saying like, what if
What if
like,
that had gone differently?
Well, that conversation will never end. We could do that forever.
Totally.
So I think honoring and respecting where you're at right now and moving from there,
it's the only way to roll
with whatever tools you have. And look, you're here for a reason. You wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't understand or agree to some degree with what we're talking about, or if you were on this wavelength or getting on this wavelength,
Yeah.
And what is it? When the student is ready, the master appears.
That's right.
I think when the master's ready, the student appears too.
No doubt about it.
And we're all just, I don't know, when people say to me, like, what are you going to do for the next year? I'm like, I'm kind of going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep becoming better and more in tuned.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
there's things I want to do. It's not about not having goals and stuff,
That's another mental masturbation. My plan for the year. My 5-year plan.
That's
Where do I see myself in 10 years?
A similar question to me is when people say, what do you do for fun? Like that question always sort of blows my mind. I'm like, so you have a thing in your life now that you've created where one section of your life is not fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have this other section that's fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it all fun.
Yeah.
Why am I living in this thing where this 12 hours is not fun?
Yeah.
What? No, I'm not doing that. My whole thing, I want it to be fun and creative.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm not, what is that? I'm not into that. I don't 100%. Get that. 100%. I don't get that. What do you do for fun?
Well, that was like we did a pod probably a couple of years ago now, where I said the ultimate act of self-care was living a life you don't need to escape from.
Yeah.
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 Because I agree. I'm the same. I'm like, what do you mean, dude?
Yeah.
What do I do for fun? I don't know. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
Love it, dude.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go enjoy some football.
Yeah.
Great pod, brother.
Great pod.
Love it.
Love
Thank you.
you.
I'm going to get this up.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
I gotta
everybody.
put it on reality now too. Just
All
the
right.
audio though.
All right.
Hey,
Happy
everybody.
New Year, everybody.
Thank you so much for being you and joining us. We've been doing this for a while. Eb's been doing this podcast a lot longer than I have. I do reality now. But I know there's a community of people that vibe and believe in a lot of this same stuff. And it's important to just continue to be honest with each other.
No doubt.
And
share
keep that community alive and that love alive. So thank you.
Know you're not alone. Share it with your people, man. It's real. It's real. This is real. This is a real wavelength that we're on. And we're just going to keep fucking building on it into the future. Yeah. So lots of love to you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we'll see you next year. Love y'all. Peace.